Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 167 of the Littleroot Lessons podcast. This is my second attempt at recording an episode for this week. Carter and I tried to record something earlier, and we ran into a lot of technical difficulties. So he had to go, and now I am joined with Rho and Papi, and we're going to talk Tears of the Kingdom, Pokemon, or whatever else we can come up with.
Yeah.
Kind of just shoot the shit, if you will, for a little while, and fill in an episode this week. How's it been going, boys?
It's been all right. I'm happy.
That's good.
Manny and I are going to a couples counseling tomorrow.
I forgot.
After
Celtics
that,
and 76 played. I forgot.
Not great, but hoping that the therapist that I got the two of us will help us make it through the last week and a half of our friendship.
Yeah. So while Papi's a little preoccupied at the moment, I figured we'll go over what we're doing today. So the main part of this episode is going over our Regulation C tier list. The one Carter and I did, I think it's been about a month or so ago now. We're going to kind of look over that, make some adjustments and things like that. Move some Pokemon around probably because the format has changed a little bit, and we'll kind of try and maybe predict where it's going to go before we get to NAIC. Sound good, boys?
Tears Maker of the Kingdom. That's the episode of the name.
Yeah.
Tears Maker of the Kingdom.
Tears Maker of the Kingdom. Episode title right there. Got it done. I was also going to just maybe edit the thumbnail to be friendship ended with Pokemon Tears of the Kingdom, my new best friend. I thought about doing that too, but that's too much work for me.
No, real talk, before we get into the thing, Tears of the Kingdom coming out a month and a half before NAIC.
It's detrimental to everybody's team building.
Not great for me at all. Actually, that is another thing that we should actually lead off on. So NAIC dates, registration dates and times
It's
have been
May
announced.
17th is wave 1. If I remember right.
Yeah, so I'm holding it up right here. So it's... Where are you? Come on. So the first wave is going to be May 17th at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Super.
Second wave will also be May 17th at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
And the final wave will be May 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern. So those are your three time slots.
Mm-hmm.
As while supplies last, so hopefully everyone can get in. Personally, I will be shooting for the May 17th at 9 a.m., that first wave, so I can get through with it and just be done with it. And then after, this is also when you can get your spectator passes as well and such.
Part of me really wants to go because that's also NA finals for the Unite Championship Series, which that's going to be live there. But money says otherwise, so I will not be attending. That and I don't have a ride out there, so I could fly, but airplane tickets from Missouri to anywhere is expensive as heck, so flying's never really an option.
As of right now, it looks like I'll be driving with Nishant and Jacob, a couple of my doubled arms, and local New England friends.
There you go.
And potentially, we might have another person or two in the car. I'm excited. It's going to be the only major of the inaugural season of Scarlet and Violet for me, so gotta really make it count.
I think Papi, you're going to NAIC?
Yeah, I'm going, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be playing. I'm 70-80% sure I want to play TCG.
Yeah, it's always fun to just go in general. If I do go, I would probably just be spectating just so I can go watch the Unite stuff, because that's all I'm really interested in. I'm not interested in playing VGC, but I also can't justify spending that much money to just go watch Unite live that I can watch on my phone.
I want to play TCG. I've been trying to jump into TCG. I haven't gone to locals or anything, but I went to a pre-release for the Scarlet and Violet set. I thought it was pretty fun.
So fun.
And
my first ever Pokemon event was a was the like the Diamond and Pearl pre-release, and I won that event, and I thought I was like all hot shit, and then I went to my first states, and I went 1-5 or something, and realized that I actually was
It takes a lot of work, but I've been talking
does.
to a buddy of mine. He goes by Merrick on some of the Discord, but he's been kind of telling me, "Hey, you should probably try this for it's kind of meta. It's kind of a meta call." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. I'll try whatever."
Sure.
But,
Yeah, that when you get into TCGs, it's great to just have like large play groups and friend groups because they kind of experience the formats in different ways, especially for like back when I played Magic a ton. It was nice having 10, 15 people that like you played with consistently because they all played with different decks. They all knew kind of like what to expect into going into certain events, and you could kind of all metagame with each other to kind of essentially control how the format would play out in a certain event. Now, granted, it's much harder to do at regional size scale, but it's definitely nice having that extra play group to play with.
He convinced me to play Gardevoir EX with Mewtwo V Union, and it's gonna be fun. I'm just waiting on the next set to drop because there's a couple cards in there that I need. Like Iono, she's gonna be pretty huge. She's like the new Marnie.
Yeah, I was about to say I thought I saw that effect on a different card before, or something similar to that to its effect, but it'd be it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like shuffle or not shuffle. Shuffle your hand into the bottom of your deck.
Yeah, and then it's like
draw 5 or something.
It's
something like that.
I don't draw prize cards, so equal to prize cards, or draw 5 or something like that. Yeah.
So that is it's opponent draws 4, you get 5. So that's I think that's similar to N.
Yeah, it's like N and Marnie or something like that. Or so I've been told. And
N is I believe you go and you shuffle your hand and you just draw the cards equal to the number of prize cards remaining, which is the same exact effect of the Pokemon of Team Rocket's admin, which came out in the Fire Red Leaf Green set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was the one I remember. Sometimes I think I'm like I should like play TCG again, especially because like that's like where it started for me. And then I look at my wallet and
you cry.
Planning weddings is pretty expensive.
Oh man, there's a version of the Gardevoir EX deck that well, they started brewing like, you know how sets drop and then there's like this one card that's like, okay, this is gonna synergize well with that.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna synergize with a card that's still legal that's like years ago.
Yep.
And right now it's Champions Festival.
I've heard about this. Okay.
Yeah.
I know this one.
Yeah, it's a stadium card that lets you heal 10 HP for each of your active Pokemon. I think it's the opponent's active Pokemon or yours. But it's insanely crazy. But it synergizes really well with Trifloon, which has an attack that does 30 times the amount of damage counters it has on it. And why it synergizes so well with that is because it synergizes again with the Gardevoir EX, which its attack lets you, its ability lets you attach psychic energy onto Pokemon, and in turn, you get to put like, I don't remember the exact number here.
He's got it ready right there. Let's go.
Oh, look at that.
Psychic Embrace. As often as you like, during your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your psychic Pokemon. If you attached energy to a Pokemon in this way, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. You can't use that ability. You can't use this ability on a Pokemon that would be knocked out. So there is now another card called Charm, something Charm, and it adds 120, 150 HP Hold on, let me look.
It sounds like Big Charm.
Yeah, Big
It's
Charm. Yeah,
it's Courage Charm.
Courage Charm. Okay, I was about to say it sounds like a Big Charm, but it's not quite that.
The basic Pokemon this card is attached to gets 50 HP. Now we look at Drifloon.
good.
I'm assuming that puts it up above 100 or something similar.
Yeah, it puts it at its HP is 70, so it puts it at 120. Its attack is Balloon Blast for 2 Psychic, and this attack does 30 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So you add that with Psychic Embrace, you can set it up like turn 2 with there's other cards.
A good bit of damage.
Anyhow,
yeah,
you could get it up to, I think, with Champions Fest, which lets you recover each turn. You can get it up to, I think, 330.
It should be 330 because you can get 11 damage counters on the Drifloon.
Yeah. And
that
330, and that knocks out just about a
mind-blowing amount of damage.
I was about to say, I don't know anything VMAX wise off the top of my head or V-Star that would survive that.
Yeah, so because of this like synergy, this crazy, it's coming. The Charm card is coming out in the next set, which is in January, just like a couple weeks before NAIC, and because of that, Champions Fest has been going for like
it's skyrocketed in price.
Yeah, it's like $400 and above, and like the asking price, the regular asking price on TCG or TCG player is 270, and people are asking for like the cheapest I found was like 390.
It's amazing what happens, especially when a card is limited, like Champions Festival is.
Yeah, and it's all promos. They're all promos.
I'm currently looking at a price charting website for Pokemon cards, and it's currently grading out an ungraded version. Is grading out right now at $200, just a hair under $200. Yeah. Its peak, which was February 21, was coming in at, and that was like the major craze when like anything Pokemon was going for whatever, is 570. And that's one of the things I don't think
that's it without the speculation.
Yeah.
Of what it's gonna do in the meta now, and people are just asking for
now
crazy prices.
PSA 10 is $575, and also just one of the things that, just to add that in for people who don't know, Champions Festival is a promo card that you can only get for being a participant at the World Championships.
Yep.
So it's one of the reasons why it is so expensive is because it's not like your usual super rare card where they it's a rare card but they print enough. They only print enough for the people who go to Worlds. So like I've seen like I saw like Aaron Trailer like tweeted out that like was like looking through all his old stuff to try to find his promos. All of a sudden, all of the VGC players who got all of these promo cards are like coming into like literally like if you've made Worlds a few times recently and you kept the cards in decent shape, you're literally coming into like thousands of dollars, probably enough to spend to go to Worlds this year.
I want to say go to Yokohama and actually like afford to go to Worlds this year, and get another one. And then the cycle continues.
Yeah, could probably flip it right then and there for someone who needs a playset.
100%. 100%. I've seen. So let me like my favorite TCG stories are always about people buying sealed product to try and find the cards they need because vendors don't have what they're looking for. I've watched people just open. It works for Magic and Pokemon the same way. I've watched people just open Magic sets. Like they'll buy booster boxes there, and just rip through them to find whatever rares they are, and then the vendor just sits there and watches them as they go through all these boxes, and they literally just take the rares that they don't want, give it back to the vendor to try and get a discount on another box to find the cards they're looking for. Like the morning of.
Yeah,
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I know. When I was at Secaucus, Bees, shout out Bees, played. They were playing TCG, at Secaucus, and I think I forgot they needed like they were playing Intellion Arceus. They needed one more card, and so when we got to the venue, one of the first things that we did was go to like a vendor, so they can like, get the card. It was only like a $4 or $5 card, so it was easy to find. But still, it's like that. Oh, that last minute, like I need this card thing.
Like sometimes it's just you just got to be lucky and just hope the vendor has it.
And this is all Carter's fault because he brought Tiff, and I love Tiff. She's great, but she got me into it.
That's how they
she
get
roped
you.
me in.
Well, I thought you were going to say this is Carter's fault because we've been talking about TCG on our VGC podcast because Carter.
Let's be real here. We're just a Pokemon podcast now. We just cover anything Pokemon anymore. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, yeah.
We try to talk VGC when there's stuff going on, but because there's nothing happening this past weekend, because we're waiting for Hartford, so there's not really anything VGC to really talk about. It'll be
Hartford's this weekend.
The weekend of
it's gonna be fun.
This episode going up, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's gonna be fun. I will be at a wedding 20 minutes away from the venue.
I will be at home.
Won't be able to attend. I will be at a local, hopefully the following weekend in Massachusetts. Memorial Day weekend, my first free weekend, and I'm probably going to spend one of those days at a Pokemon tournament.
I didn't even realize Memorial Day weekend is less than like 2 weeks away. That's insane.
Same with me. It's one thing after another.
Insane. Memorial Day weekend always marks the start of just like go out on the boat season.
I miss my boat. I miss my lake house.
No,
I swear I'm not rich, guys. I know, like both of you.
Are you sure?
You are giving your both. I am positive. Both of you are giving me that look. For those, this is a deep cut that no one is listening outside of like 4 people is going to get. I am a working class gentleman.
Sure.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it.
Yep.
I am sticking to it. Let's pull the tier list up before I
Okay, so now that we've gotten all the nonsense out of the way early, let's talk about this tier list real quick. Because I don't think we'll be making a ton of changes to it, because a lot of the stuff is going to probably stay the same or close to it. The big thing is probably just looking at some of the Pokemon that are in the good tier and maybe moving it down or up or whatever. I know Papi hasn't really been playing a whole lot of Regulation C. He's been doing more of the TCG Unite stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm in the same boat. I play a little bit on Showdown, but I haven't built a team in months.
Will we start this in alphabetical order, please?
How do you want to start this in alphabetical order? Because
A is for Obama Snow, and Obama Snow is not niche. It's good. We're starting with this.
you want to talk about Obama Snow?
Carter right now. I am picking a fight with Carter right now. Top 4 at a major. It's good.
Yeah, but then like Stony J or Stone Joiner, my buddy he plays top 8. Richard Rappa, good dude. He's one of the Georgia guys. Like it placed, but
Manny.
it good?
That's what
I think it's good.
Isn't.
I think Obama's
top 8
good.
isn't top 4.
Top 4, but who played it? Who?
It was that was Nails, and I will also go and say this like outside of me just like being completely biased because hashtag Ice King forever. Snow is like it's legitimately popular, and honestly, at least from what a lot like I know Ray Rizzo said this in one of his videos where he's seen more not Palafin Snow, more like Bundle Snow than like Palafin Balance on like the Japanese ladder. Like in Japan, it's a legitimately like very good and very popular team. It's their meta is based mostly around Snow and Dondozo,
And
which is
it's
different from the
best of
Western meta.
one.
It is best of one, but still, it's like in the grand scheme of things, like I'm saying it's good. It's not niche.
Yeah, I would say
I
Obama
would move it
Snow's
up.
probably reached the good tier.
You've gotta consider metas, because
No,
like
I do.
each region has their like weird meta. Is like right now I think NA is all balance or palafin balance.
I think they overall it's moved a little away
Japan
from
is still using
balance.
Dondozo. And
You see Dondozo in NA at events. Like I think Dondozo is
Yeah.
placed.
you don't see it as much now because like
It
balance
also
kinda
just
took
got a
over.
top 4 recently.
Dondozo's got
I
back-to-back top fours.
Yeah, it's great. It's still really good. I'm just saying, like, Palafin Balance is like the team,
It is.
and like,
No, even though it didn't have a great showing in the last regional, I think Palafin Palance is still the team. But I think it's more so by moving like Amaso from like niche to good, is because like what you also have, we have the other two weather setters that made top 4 already in good in T-Tar and Torkoal, and I think it's just more so the fact that Snow has gone from a cute haha funny team to I think at least like right now in this, especially like in this moment right now in the meta, Snow is don't give me that look, Papi. Snow is a like legitimate team that you can go into an event with and feel good about, and I think it's also a team that you need to prep for. Like if you don't have a Snow matchup prepped, it's like just like another version of hyper offense that can really run
hear
you
me
over.
out. I'm not,
Yes.
you know, is Snow good or is just Iron Bundle really good? You know what I mean?
I mean, if we're gonna really like strip it down that much,
we're gonna strip it
Blizzard's
down.
good.
Like,
I'm about to say it's
it's
Blizzard's
Obama
famous.
Snow. Like, let's just Obama Snow's okay,
I
but
think it's good.
a focal point of the teams is how hard Iron Bundle hits. Obama Snow does what? Snow warning and setup, which is great. Which is good. It's a job. You need a job to be done, and Iron Bundle's gonna do your heavy lifting most of the time, and like on the off chance a Titan comes on some team for like Slush Rush. Is it Slush Rush that it has?
Yeah, it's Slush Rush.
Yeah. So that's all
good.
I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I still think it's
And
it's
then
a good mod.
like Iron Bundle is good, but
Well, there's a reason Iron Bundle is like up near the top of this.
Or is just Iron Bundle good? That makes like Snow kind of viable because of it. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Because that's my
I do, but I will say this. I do think it is. I'd say like the first thing, like there's a few mons who I like would say move it up, but I think it's better than niche. Like
there's one player that not just nails, but atmosphere, or I forget his full name.
Did well with it.
Yeah, he did pretty decent. He's been playing Snow for like since forever.
Mm-hmm.
No, and then I know well not he, so he also used the Gyarados Chiyu balance team early on in Series 3. Him
everybody did. It's like
it was him and Fiona played that team as well.
Everyone, I mean, if you're not playing balance like right now, you're not doing yourself any favors. As like
I agree on that.
As like controversial as that may sound, I guess, or a hot take or whatever, if it is, but I honestly think if you're not playing balance, you're not doing yourself any favors. You have like off meta players even know like I have to know the balance matchup.
Yeah.
If I don't, I think I'm dead in the water.
I think right now the best way to put it, because Spacky Titan and I have talked about this like in terms of like choosing teams. I think one of the things, like, in taking that into advantage, if you are super confident in your play, then just play balance and be the best team, and because you can always player diff with those teams.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you don't think like you can go toe to toe with like a seasoned balance player, a more hyper offense team to try to get them on the back foot, even just get them in an even in a slightly uncomfy lead situation, could really help. And that is like where I think Snow comes in, because in the grand scheme of things, if you get into a position where you can just lead like Bomb Snow bundle or position that and just start that Blizzard spam pressure, are you hunting for freezes?
But let's
Absolutely.
also, like you said, player diff, like
Yeah.
Nails, as
Oh,
mean
no,
as it may
Nails
sound,
is
or harsh as it
all
may
three of us
sound,
combined.
Nails player diffed everyone he played. You know what I
Nails
mean?
player dipped with Snow,
Yeah. So like,
which is why it's good.
is
I'm
Snow?
not putting. I don't
Same
want to put it.
question: is Snow good, or is just Nails really good? And we know Nails is really good. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to put Snow in the tier with freaking Klefki, and I'm not asking for it to be.
Oh,
in,
Klefki's
the
probably not
tier
going to
Oh,
be in this
okay.
tier for very long.
yeah,
So
I don't. Alberto Lara single-handedly put Klefki
Yeah.
yeah.
on the map. So, like, no one
He
else
already
is doing
took
any good with Klefki but Alberto Lara, because he's Alberto Lara.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
Klefki's probably not going to stay on the good tier for very, very long. There's a lot of these good tier Pokemon that we had put in here at the start to kind of like maybe predict where the meta could be going. And a lot of it paid off and some of it didn't. And I think Klefki, unfortunately, is one of those casualties of we thought it could do good, and I think it was just a player picked it up and did well with it rather than it actually just being a good Pokemon in the format.
I think changes you've got to make, I think, are how well Excalibur and Iron Bundle have done.
Yeah, like
You have to put them in must-have answers, because like
Thank
Excalibur
you.
is like the alternative to what is it? I think hands on balanced teams.
Yeah. This is the unofficial Ice Type episode. I'm vibing right now.
See,
First of my vibes
I'm
today.
in the opposite
This
camp
is-
for
this is where I'm
Excalibur.
This is where I'm with. This is where I'm with Rho on it. Like, these ice types are really good. I'm not so much sold on Obama Snow, and I think that's a hill I'm willing to die on. But these two ice types, just for the sake of Rho, like Excalibur and Iron Bundle, are very good. Not just strong and consistent. They're must-have answers. And to be fair, literally anything answers Iron Bundle because it's pretty frail.
Yeah, kind of just like how
But-
same thing. Anything answers Chi-Yu.
Well, if
Yeah.
you put it behind the screens that your Obama Snow sets up and then put it in Snow.
I love that
Yeah,
everyone just like immediately goes to Obama so setting the screens. You just set it with Bundle. Bundle's faster than
you can
everything
put it with
else.
Bundle.
Yeah, but my
Bundle's a lot
Bundle was
faster.
wearing. Bundle has glasses on. He has his little.
Well,
specky.
that's your problem. There's your issue
Why would-
right there.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you're running specs,
Well, that's the
on
thing. It's like
Bundle.
I do like the fact going back. Back to like Obama Snow. Okay, actually, before I do my last thing, where are we putting Obama Snow? Because
I
we did
have
not
it in
say
good.
that.
I like Obama Snow in
Good.
good. The reasoning behind this, for me, in my opinion, is Obama Snow's stats are actually decent.
Cheers.
The typing has always been the problem, right? And Bundle being able to benefit from the snow that it sets and kind of just answers a lot of the problematic types that Obama Snow has in general. It works out and kind of helps boost Obama Snow's playability there. Like, you could give Obama Snow Assault Vest, and then you have a defense boost from the weather and an Assault Vest item boost. And so now both your defenses are actually above average, and you're actually fairly bulky still. So you can do Blizzard spam, Icy Wind spam, Giga Drain, Earth Power, whatever you want to do with it.
Isn't it even on both attack stats?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So like, there's also
Yeah,
you
so
can
I
play
know like
physical. Like,
Yeah, because you
I've
get
even seen like use mixed sets where I mean it's mostly special, but they have that ice shard to pick up that for that priority to like pick up like the last like 15, 20 points of damage you need in a Pokemon, or if you bring something down to Sash, now you're threatening with the priority. No, it's like, and I think that's one of the reasons why this snow is so good is because you actually have multiple ways of playing both Obama Snow and Bundle. Bundle could have like you can have Aurora Veil on both, and to be quite honest, it's like I don't think Nails had Aurora Veil on either of them. I know for a fact he had a Specs bundle, and I can't remember what his Abomasnow was,
the
but I
Obama
don't
Snow
think it
was
was a
Sash.
Sash. I'm not sure if it was Aurora Veil Sash
I
though.
think it
I
had
might have
Aurora
been.
Veil on. I'm pretty sure it did.
You can find that, but more the point I'm saying is like you can have like the Sash, like the Aurora Veil on either. You can throw the Specs um on the bundle. You could have like Sash on bundle and Light Clay or Vest on Abomasnow. Like there's a lot of different item and set combinations that you can do with both Pokemon. That is really great. And again, going with bundle and backs. If I had to choose between the two of which one I would put in like the move up from like the strong slash consistent to like the must have answers for, I think at this point, especially if you are a Dozo player, you need an answer to Iron Bundle. Bundles on the, especially more so on the non-snow variants, are running Encore, and we've learned that Encore is a very, very powerful move. Um, Now that we are past the Dynamax, um,
Shenanigans.
like generation. Fun fact: we're going to see how long it takes for me to say Sword and Shield in reference of Scarlet and Violet
Yeah,
again.
right.
But anyways, it's like Encore. Like this is a move that's really, really good, and we've seen it like Encore bundle next to Amoonguss. Not even just a clear smog Amoonguss, just like a regular Amoonguss. Those two together just completely shutting down. Honestly, the second best archetype in the Western meta right now, with Balance being number one, like Dozo's number two, and so that's why I think like not Dozo. That's why I think Bundle is in the must-have answers.
I'm not 100% sold on Baxcalibur moving up as a must answer, just mainly because the Palance team can get away with not playing Baxcalibur at all.
Okay, that
Like,
makes sense. Yeah,
like it's
I
still a
wouldn't move it
strong
down, though.
Pokemon. Oh no, it's not moving down.
yeah, I
If
wouldn't move
anything,
it
it
down.
stays put. Like Baxcalibur's still
Yeah,
good.
that's fair.
It's just I don't know if you want to move it up because of where it's at. Ice Dragon is still like a scary typing to have in this format, just mainly because everything's carrying like fighting coverage for the Ruin Pokemon and steel coverage for Fluttermane, so you almost are always forced to Terra Baxcalibur when you bring it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really makes you kind of like one-dimensional for your squad. So I like having it stay where it's at.
I definitely do agree with that with backs. One thing I do like about it again is the numerous types of sets you can run with it. The AV Terra ground sets with Earthquake spam, especially next to Gyarados. Like it legitimately can use loaded dice. Like the loaded dice icicle spear, Dragon Dance set. Loaded dice, icicle spear, Dragon Dance sets are really great. You can even just do like a simple protect 3 attacks. Bax is it still is a really good Pokemon that you can do a lot of different things with.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
it is what it is. I mean, I think it's really good. It's just really good.
No, I do as well. Like I mean, I'll definitely take it staying in like that strong tier and not like the must-have answers tier 4. I was more so like let's not move it down.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not going down. If anything goes down, it's probably this Gothitelle and this Dragapult.
Yeah, so I mean, I know we were just talking about how it's like Abomasnow had a top 4 and I was pounding the table almost literally for it to be moved up to good. Dragapult has a ring in Gen 3. For Gen 3 that's my mistake for the night. In Reg C. and and we're like, yeah, no, it's actually not that great. I mean, I have used like Dragapult Shampoo, and it's super fun to use. Dragonite's just better.
I don't know if it's just better. I think Dragapult and Dragonite do different things, and what Dragonite is doing is better.
It's better.
My thing is, like, I've always kind of been, like, cognizant of, I guess, is, like, how players play them. Like, Justin Tang was the one who used Dragapult, right?
I believe so, yeah.
And he won. Again, with the snow thing, like, it's Nails, it's Justin Tang, and these players are very good at the game. And it takes for Justin Tang to go like, hey, I want to put Dragapult here. You have to make it work. I think he's made tweets saying he's got like 12 hours logged in on his phone for battery usage on like Pokemon Showdown, just going to work.
Yep.
What I'm saying is these players play these Pokemon very, very well. And play their teams very, very well because they put in the work, put into practice. Why I think strong and consistent to me means like with Zacian for Sword and Shield, you could drop it on a team and go like, okay, this is what you're gonna do, and you're gonna do it 100% of the time, and that's no matter what you do, you're gonna do well with it because it's on your team, and it's gonna do what it like. It's there to turn you off from bringing that for Dynamaxing, blah blah blah. That's neither here nor there. But strong and consistent to me is those Pokemon you can drag and drop onto a team and go like, okay, this is gonna do really well on this team just because I can put it on that team, and that's strong and consistent to me. It's drag and drop. So like Dragapult
That's fair.
Being strong and consistent doesn't really put that there, especially not for Scarlet and Violet, because it's not doing the same thing it did for Sword and Shield where it was consistent in colossal teams, and like you needed it for other niche things like Will-O-Wisp and be your like special attack. Anyway, but I agree with Carl. It's not as good as Dragonite, and it's not as consistent as Dragonite, and it comes down to the player. And Justin Tang did really well with it, but you don't see anybody else with Dragapult. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
it's the same situation with things like Orthworm, right? Orthworm won an event, and it's just it's most likely part of that is just the player knowing their matchups and winning with it, rather than Orthworm suddenly being this super strong Pokemon. No, the whole team was built around supporting this Orthworm to make it actually decent.
Yeah, if it were your option, yeah, like you said, you build everything to be like, okay, if Earthworm needs to come in this game, this is what I need to do to support it or make it or enable it to do its thing. So
with that being said, with you picking up like mentioning Orthworm, like that isn't mine. I do want to talk about because we do have it currently in the needs help tier.
I already had moved it to niche before we started recording.
Oh.
Sick.
Okay, well that yeah, no, okay, never mind then. That's fair.
I also moved Goodra out of that needs help into the niche category as well, because it also has a decent finish to its name, and it needs referenced.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will go and say that like if Orthworm has like another like really good finish, Hartford, you could probably move it up to good. I'd say like out of all the Pokemon right now that have like glowed up, so to speak, from the start of the meta to now, I think the one that's glowed up the most is Orthworm. But it's like you do have to play it on a specific sort of team, what does help Orthworm a lot is that its best partner is also like one of the most defining Pokemon of the meta, Ting Lu. And so anything that is like really, really, really good next to Ting Lu is going to be at least like usable in some way, shape, or form. Like letting Ting Lu be able to spam Earthquakes is always going to be a good thing. And then setting up the Shed Tail, just like the ground resistance in general, because you could switch it in against like opposing Ting Lus to like eat hits for your partner, then maybe set up another like safe like Shed Tail. So it's blow it up a good bit.
The reason why I specifically mentioned just like the team is built around it, I believe every single Pokemon outside of Earthworm had a ground type coverage move on it for that team.
Uh-huh.
All the Pokemon could trigger it to give it HP. So like that's why it's just like it's not quite gonna move up into good because it has a essentially a ring. Mainly just because the rest of the team around it is the reason why it happened to show up and win. Looking through some other stuff, I moved a bunch of Pokemon around while you guys were talking about stuff. I moved King Gambit up from good to strong and consistent. I think it probably deserves to be there. I moved Torkoal up from good to strong and consistent. The Sun teams are starting to be an actual dominant force again, like we kind of expected them to be.
Shout out Joe UX9 for finally getting his Scarlet and Violet championship.
Joe literally took the same team and just run it back to back and won the VR event and then won Portland. Literally just boom, boom.
He knew his team. He knew what to do.
So that brought Jumpluff up because I think Jumpluff now has become like the best chlorophyll mon. Hands down.
I 100%. It's
I think you should also bring I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you go.
Also bring up Mouse Ape.
I have brought up. I did bring up Ape. I brought Ape up with to good with the mouse there.
I think they should be up and strong, consistent.
I could see that. Well,
it's weird though because it's like best finish for both Mouse and Ape, or they weren't together. I think Ape is good. I think it's like specific teams where Mousehold, especially on hyper offense, is able to be.
But
supportive blue.
Paul Ruiz, he finished second at
No, he did, but I think going with what you were saying, it's Paul Ruiz.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's why I said,
had a lot of really great Mouse Ape. I think one of the things with it is and I think you can also say this with Gothitelle, because I'm assuming that like we move Gothitelle down. Initially I was like, hey, maybe Goth could be really good. This is a very switch heavy meta. Everything is really based around being able to pivot in position. And having a Pokemon that stops your opponent from pivoting and positioning is great. And then you look at the Fluttermane in the room, and then you realize that it was like one of those things where it's like in theory, the theory of it's better than the practice. I think in general, Mouse Ape is sort of in the same spot. In theory, it should be doing amazing into this meta, and then in practicality, it's weirdly enough a difficult team to pilot. It's not as simple as the click beat up, click rage fist that we were so used to in Series 1 and to a lesser extent in Series 2. There's a lot more answers. People know how to play it more. They know that to an extent the mouse is actually more important than the ape. And how to make those approaches. Like I know people will spec their Fluttermanes, like if they're like specs Fluttermane where their Fluttermane will OHKO mouse with Moonblast. And it's like once you get rid of that mouse and you get rid of it early enough, the Annihilate isn't able to position itself or get the damage output well enough. So it's like, again, like one of those things where someone like Paul Ruiz who has a lot of that experience, not just in general, but specifically with the team. I believe he went top 8 at EYC with it as well, but he top 8'd another major with Mouse Ape. It's like it's not a team you can pick up right now, expect to go an event in a couple weeks and like do super well with it. I think it's like one of those things where if you haven't been, unless there's a drastic meta change, if you haven't been like the Mouse Ape person last month or so, you might not be able to like get that experience needed to like make it really strong. So I think putting them both in good is fair right now.
Okay. I agree. I gotcha. Picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah. I have
Concessions
to have
have
one
been made for each player.
I need to have one win today.
Let's talk about some of my downgrades I made here. I moved Wo-Chien down. I moved Ndidi down. I moved a lot of the priority stopping stuff down and the Trick Room stuff down just because Trick Room, as much as we've tried, I don't think it's ever going to get solid footing in this format just because of the fact that there's Fluttermane running around to hit most of the setters, and if you're not hit super effectively by Fluttermane, there's usually something else out there that's just going to beat up whatever your sweeper is.
You just reminded me. What is it? Bronzong.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Bronzong. Since we're talking Trick Room, I think Bronzong should be. Where is it? Here.
It's in the needs help because a lot of the problems that Bronzong had was Fluttermane just blows you up still. So you definitely need to work with like my opinion, there's better Trick Room setters than Bronzong right now, specifically like for Farigiraf and Mimikyu, but Bronzong definitely probably should be down here with the rest of the big setters in niche.
Yeah, I think so too.
I was going to say, but I can definitely see Bronzong in niche. It's in the other Pokemon. It's done actually next to Abomasnow. I believe it was Bars at UIC. I cannot remember. I know he was on stream. It was a had the weak. He had the weakness policy, Abomasnow, Choice Band Tinglu.
I remember this one. Yeah. That was a wild team.
So Bars, I actually believe he qualified with the points from that event with that team. Shout out to him. But yeah, so I think like I agree with Manny there that definitely go to niche.
Yeah, it has its uses. Where was it EUIC or was it
I think it was EUIC. That was the last time I remember seeing like Bronzong like on stream.
Yeah,
because I forget who was it. Was it Bars? Was it the guy you were talking about?
It was Bars.
Yeah,
I think there might have been another Bronzong player. Every single time I say Bronzong, I think of Aaron Zhang during Worlds last year yelling "Ding dong, it's Bronzong." It wasn't at Worlds. It wasn't Worlds. It was NAIC.
I thought it was NAIC.
Whatever. He was casting an event, and I just remember I was working during the event like a responsible person.
Sure.
And I was looking at a spreadsheet, and all I heard was "Ding dong, it's Bronzong." I looked at my other screen, like, what the heck is going on?
I saw that match, and I was like, wow, this guy just demolished the other player. So it was like a 2-0. It was convincing.
I don't know. Bronzong's a cool Pokemon. It's one of those Pokemon where it's like, I want it to be good.
Like, I love Bronzong as a Pokemon. I want it to be good. I know for a fact.
No, it's more so like my thing for Bronzong with me is I don't think I'd be good enough using it.
It's like Carter and Amoonguss. I try to get Carter to play with Amoonguss, like, and he thinks he's terrible with it.
Yeah, but at least it's like my Pokemon's like niche, like his Pokemon's like mandatory. And with you bringing up Amoonguss, that's one of the reasons why we're moving down Wo-Chien. It had a lot of really great hype in the beginning.
It is a fan favorite.
We just realized that, wait, Amoonguss is just better.
It's
And
not even that
everything.
Amoonguss is just better. It's that Amoonguss just eats you alive.
right, like a pollen puff just when pollen puffs usually don't do enough damage, it just kills Wishing.
Yeah,
Um,
And it
being
hurts.
having to like have a forced Terra
for a
against a
support
support
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Right. It's crazy.
It's
It's
so bad.
why.
It's so unfortunate.
And especially because like I think it's at the point where, well, I mean, Fluttermane's the 1, but I think it might be more of a 1A to Amoonguss is 1B. Like Amoonguss has been absolutely like insane
Like
in this format.
at this point, like my top list of like Pokemon are like that are must play is literally Fluttermane, Amoonguss, Palaf, and Arcanine. Tinglu's no longer in
Yeah.
the conversation with that. It's literally those 4, and then you can pick whatever other 2 you want.
No, I agree. I know it's I know Jess has talked to me about like I know like with that Palance core, how for a while I was her and I want to say Justified Joe, the team that they built that Joey ran in the our invitational was Palance core with Bax and Iron Hands instead of running it with Ting Lu. The idea of it was like you could get into like a positioning situation where Ting Lu was lowering the damage output of your Fluttermane, and that the backs and the Iron Hands were like giving you better matchups. But like really with that core, it's those 4, and then fill out the rest.
Yeah.
Like what like with like whatever matchups you want to like do better in.
Yeah, whatever matchup you want to win, you just bring your 2 tech Pokemon to kind of shore that up. Let's see here. What else did I move? I moved the Tauros down. I moved Sizer up because I think Sizer actually is decent again. Now that we're
I
getting,
think it's getting there.
now that we're getting into the must answer Fluttermane Shen Pao bundle stuff, like yeah, bundle's neutral hit for Bullet Punch, but it still hits you like a truck. Like even with your high defense, it's still a Sizor. My other big move down, I took Roaring Moon out of good. Roaring Moon's just isn't it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and so then this is something I don't know if you saw this or not, Manny. Paul Chua, he won EUIC with Roaring Moon,
Oh,
and
I missed that final.
great final. It was the Palance versus Palance. It was pretty much like the only difference was Roaring Moon versus Baxcalibur.
Literally, that was the only difference.
Yeah, and it's like it came down to Paul making a really great T1 lead, like read, in Game 3 to take out the Baxcalibur, because if like the reason why Palance teams, because initially it was like Roaring Moon was like that great dragon spot because it went back to the Series 2 like like there was a Series 2 Palaf and Balance team. If like it was like pretty much the Palance core, and then you had Iron Hands and Roaring Moon as the 5th and 6th spots. The initial change, like when Regulation C dropped, was it wasn't for Iron Hands keep Roaring Moon. So then, with everyone having the Dragon type and the Ground type added, that's why people started like using Baxcalibur. Roundabout to what I was going to say, in the New England Discord, which Paul Chua is a member of for some reason, not going to question it, but
Sure.
yeah, he went and said he's like he himself didn't think like it was just the team he used. He's like, this is not the optimal version, and specifically like noting like the Roaring Moon spot.
Yeah.
I think it can. I know we actually had a member of our community.
Yeah, we had somebody asking about it in the Discord a little while ago.
like, and yeah, I think it was either yesterday or today, and like the answer I gave them was like, I think it's a lot of positioning. I think if you can get a Dragon Dance or two off with Roaring Moon and do a lot of damage, you can go off.
Mm-hmm.
You could say that if you're, but like Bax Caliber can do the same thing. If you give your Bax Caliber a Dragon Dance, it's going to do a lot of damage and it's going to get a lot of KOs. Along with the fact that Roaring Moon right now is against Fluttermane, the most forced Terra known to man. And it's not like Bax Caliber where you can go defensive Terra and still do a lot of damage with Glaive Rush. You really don't have that high damage output move plus stab unless you're going Booster Energy, Terra Flying Acrobatics.
Yeah, like that's the thing, right? It's like Terra Flying Acrobatics with Booster Energy is the big like calling card for Roaring Mane, and it's not as effective anymore, right? There's no big like unless you're hitting it specifically like an Amoonguss, you're not really OHKOing a whole lot. That's going to be like defensively bulky. You'll OHKO, I think you OHKO Fluttermane with it, but you're not outspeeding Fluttermane most of the time anyway. So
Yeah.
You would definitely need like if you're Speed Booster and it's Speed Booster and you get a Dragon Dance off. I know a lot of Fluttermanes right now, especially with these bulkier ones, they are starting to invest a little more in special attack to pick up certain KOs. And like I think like the speed marks they're hitting are like making sure you outspeed like base 100s or something along the lines of that. Like you aren't really so like again like if you get the boost from your booster energy and you can safely get a Dragon Dance up, there's a decent chance that you'll be able to outspeed a Fluttermane at this point. Like the max flutters are like yesterday's news.
Yeah.
But again, I'm saying like you're able to safely get up that Dragon Dance, which
unless you got a Amoonguss or Maushold sitting next to your Roaring Mane, you're not gonna get that off.
Yeah, and even like again, like what we were just saying with the Mausholds, like people are expecting their Roaring Moons to knock out the Maushold turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when you start playing Sash.
But yeah, no, I can agree with Roaring Moon moving down to niche. There's better dragons.
Oh yeah, like that's the inverse of what like Sword and Shield was, right? Like Sword and Shield was all about like the steals and the fairies being very, very popular and things like that. Eventually it became a very steel heavy format just because Max Steel Strike was such a good Dynamax move.
Nutty.
Yeah. But now like this format, like all the dragons are back and they're very, very popular. And part of it is I think that's just like what the format is designed to be like. Like there's a reason we have Dragonite, Garchomp, Hydreigon, Salamence. Like there's a reason we have all of the big like 600 base stat dragons in the format, right? That's in this game. They wanted them to be here. They wanted them to be good. And I think in that long list of pseudo legend dragons, Roaring Moon is now just like at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. And speaking of other pseudos, I'm assuming you moved it down. Hydreigon just really hasn't.
Hydreigon joined it. Hydreigon just immediately went with it.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor Hydreigon. I moved Murkrow up because it's starting to tick up in popularity, because Dondozo's starting to tick up in popularity. What else did I change? I think that's it.
No, I think like going through do you still have Goldango and good?
Yeah. Goldango's not really a moved up or down kind of spot yet.
I mean, I'd say that's fair. I could see a situation where I know a lot of people talk about the Terra Water Goldango being
people love it against Palance, and like you're just not doing enough, in my opinion. You are forced to Terra this thing every single time into that matchup, and I don't know. I don't think that's enough for it. You're not outspeeding anything that's pertinent, so you have to Terra so you don't go get OHKO'd. But then you also are taking at least one shot regardless. It's going to be a neutral hit because you're taking either a Shadow Ball that's neutral or a Moonblast that's neutral, or like you're taking some kind of damage that's neutral damage, and you're just sad because now you're like you're only gonna get one Make It Rain off, and you gotta hope that that's enough.
Right.
The other problem I have with Goldango is like is Chi Yu starting to be popular too. So Chi Yu just makes it a little bit scarier for you to sit in front of anything because it's just like, oh, cool special defense that you no longer have. I'm just gonna blow you up.
And no Chi, and again Chi Yu as well. Like that Terra Water Chi Yu.
I love that
thing. I know.
I love it.
But that's again like the other thing that's like turning into like a really great balance answer. Is that Terra Water Chi Yu again next to
I said it next
like
to
Amoonguss.
I said it next to Amoonguss. I have Nasty Plot on that sucker. I clicked one Nasty Plot and you just start Okoing things. Neutral hits. It just starts eating everything.
Cheese kind of
it's 68. Yeah, it's like 68 modest after a Nasty Plot is Okoing. Like I think it's like maybe not 100% Okoing, but like I think it's like 80-something% of the time you're taking out a Palafin, and you have like just enough speed where you're speed creeping that Palafin, and then you just bulk dump the rest.
Yep.
And I think it's like one of the things that just in general with these like the open team sheet formats is that your EV spreads are super important.
Oh yeah, EV.
That's where the creativity comes from.
Yeah. All right. I think with that, I don't have any other options. I think I want to change on the tier list. I think everything else is fine where it's at.
Yeah.
So I will send us back over to where everybody can see us, so we can get on out of here.
Yes.
Anything you guys want to say before we wrap up the episode here?
How far are you guys, just for the record, how far are you guys in Tears of the Kingdom?
Rito Village. I made it to the Wind Temple dungeon thingy.
Yeah, I think me and Carter are about the same spot, but different like exploration map stuff done.
Yeah, probably. I got sidetracked a little bit, but then I got on track real quick.
I got sidetracked a lot, and then kept dying to. There was one tower I was trying to get to, and I just kept dying. So after maybe an hour or two trying to figure out how to kill him, I gave up and said maybe I should try something else.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. I got stuck on. I went and did some geoglyph thing mission with one of the. I think it was Impa is where the mission goes. Impa takes you to do the geoglyph thing. You go and look at the map in the temple or whatever. I got stuck in the canyon because I couldn't climb out of the canyon, so I had to walk the length of the canyon to find a balloon so I can go up the canyon wall to get to Rito Village.
Spoilers, but I was stuck in a well for like 20 minutes, and I forgot you get this new ability,
Ascend or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Lets you climb up like vertically, and you could do it at certain spots. But I forgot I had that ability, and I was sitting there for like 20 minutes. Like, how do I get out of here? I was stacking barrels. I was like trying to climb up certain angles, and I just couldn't do it. And then I'm like, oh.
Ascend is a very useful tool. I'll tell you that for free.
And I'm like, ascend. Oh my god. And I just did it. But the game, like, I think I'm just a little less. I'm not at the Wind Temple dungeon thing just yet. I'm like on the path to.
Man, I want you to record your reaction when you do that whole get into that temple. I was literally like nerve-wracking. It is so scary.
Yeah. The whole game is like really nice.
I love it. The game is great.
It's a huge.
That is it's
huge
a lot for me to look forward to. Yeah. I have done 2 shrines. I'm pretty much still in like the beginning stages of the game. I've had a very busy weekend.
Pro, you have Ultra Hand. What was your second one?
I have Ultra Hand,
Ultra
and
Hand,
then I
Fuse.
have the Combining John.
You got
Yeah, Fuse.
Pretty much, I just grabbed every single rock, stuck it to every single stick I have.
That's
So,
what I did too.
So initially, I was
I
like,
have a
"Oh, this is
story.
dumb. Like, it's not like aesthetically pleasing." And then I'm like, "But it's hilarious." So even my shield has a rock. So it's like I have a stick with a rock on my back and a shield with a rock, also on my back. So like those back muscles that Link has, amazing.
Right.
Either that or I'm just like shredding my character into pieces.
So I have
That's
a fun
freaking-
story. I messed up and did the shrines backwards. So I got Ultra Hand, and then me being the dummy went to. I literally just went to the snow part of the Great Sky Island or whatever, and that's where you get Ascend.
Yeah.
And so I was lost for about an hour trying to figure out how does Ascend do anything for me. I'm missing something, and I had completely skipped the Fuse Temple. Completely skipped it.
Yeah. Tried.
Okay, yeah, I think the one I'm heading to right now.
Your next temple should be the Ascend Temple.
Yeah, it should be Ascend, but you can find. You don't have. I mean, it took me a second, but you can find. I think the Warm Greaves or whatever they're called. Yeah, they help you resist the cold in that area.
You could also get spicy peppers, and 5 of those give you 12 minutes of cold resist.
And that's like more than enough time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think I have the spicy peppers.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
I do. Yeah.
Literally.
No, it was this. It's like again like this weekend. It's been one after the other. I know. I might have even said it on this pod. I initially didn't expect to get the game on launch, and then Amanda was out pretty much all of Friday, and she went out with one of her friends for her birthday. Also, shout out to my fiance Amanda. It was your birthday yesterday, and happy birthday. Love you.
That was my mom's birthday. Was yesterday.
Yes. I was going to say early shout out Mod Tim. His birthday is Wednesday.
Oh, nice! Happy birthday!
Creator of Mouse Lab.
Lab Mouse.
So
you flip flopped it. Lab Mouse.
Close enough. Yes. But yeah. So it's a
lot of May birthdays in the server.
A lot of LRL birthdays.
I was gonna say
LRL adjacent.
Smeargle's was last week. Mine was last week.
I want to say it was like Thursday.
I think his was Thursday because mine was Tuesday. His was Thursday.
Oh, I'm. Wait, yours?
Yeah, mine was last Tuesday. Yeah, I didn't tell anybody.
Why did you not say anything?
Because I didn't care.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, man!
It's
Jeez,
another year. It's not a big deal.
Make us all look like bad friends.
Nah. Yeah,
all right, go ahead. Happy birthday.
So here's the funny story. I gave hints to Carter like 4 separate times, and it all went over his head.
Mm.
He missed all of them, so you can blame him for not mentioning it to anybody else.
Doing that right now.
Uh-oh.
Blame you, and I'm leaving it at that.
He'll figure it out. He'll listen to the episode and he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Tears of the Kingdom was a late birthday present. We picked it up Friday afternoon. I had to get the physical.
Why did I think you were late, Maddie?
I had it pre-ordered. Remember when they did the 2-game voucher thing?
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, I
I
thought
went
about
and
doing
bought it.
that for this one.
Just got it with the voucher.
I thought about doing that with the
smart move.
voucher for like Advance Wars Plus this game, but I had to have it physical copy for Tears of the Kingdom so my wife can play it on her Switch.
Yeah.
That was the rule.
So what happened was I didn't pre-order. I go and I'm like, okay, I finished work. I had a couple meetings. What's nice with my job in the summer is that I get half-day Fridays from like the start of May all throughout Labor Day weekend. So we got out early. I get out early. I'm like, okay, let me go to get some lunch and then I'm going to find Tears of the Kingdom somewhere. I checked like 2 or 3 Targets and a GameStop, and everything was sold out for physical copies. So I ended up having to do the digital download regardless, and that was about an hour and a half or so to download the game.
It's a big game.
Yeah, it's
so
huge.
by the time Amanda got home, that's when like
game's ready to play, and you're just like,
it defeated the entire purpose of me getting the game.
I was about to say, we went out to dinner on Friday, so it's just like, oh, we'll just pick it up while we're out. I ended up calling at the GameStop up there, and I got the rudest person. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
you
God.
know who you are, person. If you may not even ever listen to this episode, but you know who you are. And I literally, all I did was just ask a simple question. Is like, do you have a copy in stock? It did not say on the website. It said to call the store. And so I called the store, and they're just like, no, I don't know why you're calling us. No, we don't have one. I'm just like, all you had to tell me was, sorry, no, we don't have one right now. We can reserve one later. No, I got the rudest answer. I'm just like, okay, no. I will go someplace else. I ended up going to Vintage Stock. I don't know if you guys have those wherever you're at. They deal mainly in like old DVDs and retro games and things like that. Pokemon cards, D&D. It's like a weird hobby shop / card shop thing, but they don't actually like do card shop things. But I ended up getting it there. They had a ton of copies there, and it was like, yeah, here, I got one. You can pay for it now, or you can pay for it later. And I just went ahead and picked it up then.
Yeah, usually like retro game stores have like new copies of games, and nobody ever goes there for that.
Yeah.
So they're always going to go in stock. If they have a few copies, they're never going to sell out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no like super retro. The only thing I have is 10 minutes on the street from my apartment. It's a in the plaza they have a comic book store, and then right next to that it's like a collectible store. Like they have some Pokemon cards. They have like certain games and stuff, but it has more of like a pawn shop feel to things than like an actual like game store, so to speak. It's more so like, honestly, comes off as like a pawn shop that just deals with games.
I would say Vintage Stock is something similar to that. It's a lot of they do music, they like CDs and vinyl. They do a lot of DVDs, Blu-rays. They also do movie rentals still, for some weird reason.
Yes.
They don't rent very much anymore. A lot of what they have for rent is just up for sale. But they do board games. They have like D&D collectibles and other plushes and figures, and they do a lot of manga sales. It's a nice little just like nerd store, like just to go and like look around if you're like trying to kill time, which we were, and it just happened to be that I picked up the game there at the same time. It worked out, 2 birds, 1 stone. So shout out to Vintage Stock. They're great. If you want me to keep touting all your stuff, send me money. We'll talk. Not sponsored, but could be sponsored.
I'll wrap them.
Yeah,
could be. That'd be a nice sponsor.
All right. Well, we kind of rambled there at the end, but I think it's been a fun episode for how the recording session started today. It's been a nice episode.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you both for coming and hanging out. Make sure to go follow these 2 lovely gentlemen on Twitter. If you want to, I think I have both their names below their cameras on the screen for you both, so you can go find them there. Make sure to go
choose between me or Littleroot Lessons.
I was about to say if you want to go follow the podcast at LR Lessons, myself at Musical VGC, Carter, who's unfortunately not here tonight, is at Mr. Missouri 25. You can go check us out on Discord as well. I don't think the vanity URL works anymore, so check the description down below for the invite. I think we fell below the 14 boosts on Discord, so the vanity URL got turned off. So definitely go check the description down below if you want to come hang out with us in the Discord. Come join our draft league that's starting next month. We're working on the tier list, draft list for that. Super excited for that. Go check out the website, lrlessons.com. It's going to have our updated schedule of events on it here real soon. It's just been a lot of stuff going on right now, so we're kind of behind on that. What else? Patreon. I think that's the only other thing. Patreon. It's the only thing I'm missing. I think so. For as little as like 50 cents an episode, you can go and support us on Patreon. Shout out to all of our Patreon supporters, specifically Johnny Bravo Sr. and Papa Swish. I think that's it. I think I nailed it all. Sounds about right. I don't know. Carter does this every week, so I'm out of practice.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I think you got everything.
Thank you all for listening / watching, and we will see y'all next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.